And we're gonna have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye. And when Santa squeezes his fat white ass down that chimney tonight, he's gonna find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house.
Don't wait till the night before Christmas to be good.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 105 of the Prehistoric Podcast, part 9 in our long-running 12 podcasts at Christmas. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Francois Nation.
I'm Andrew Sorsdahl.
And I recently found out that I am an accomplice of what some nicknamed the Green River Killer. Today he's going to admit, although he previously did on a podcast, he's going to admit to some of the murders again today.
Okay, I just want to say this. Is it murder if you killed a small team of people and then immediately after they blew the fuck up so nobody, no harm, no foul? Like they would have died. Like fate wanted them to die. Yes, maybe as they were getting settled into the space shuttle, I slaughtered them like pigs with a fucking axe. And then, but I mean, like moments later, they would disintegrate into nothing in the sky. I didn't cause the explosion. That wasn't on me. That was fucking NASA's fault. I didn't do that. That was a heat shield issue. Something. Did I slaughter the astronauts? Yes. But, like I said, they were going to die anyways, so in a sense, I provided a mercy by killing them earlier.
Unless your killing them was... I think it would be far less painful to blow up
I mean, that's not for you to say, at the end of the day. That's not for you to tell me.
I forgot to shut the house lights off.
That's not for you to say.
Sean, can you shut the house lights off?
Sean.
Stephen?
So I don't know where all this conjecture is coming from. I know,
So, in film, the house lights refer to the non-film lights, the built-in lights for the room. Sometimes in the podcast, I forget to shut the house lights off. And then it changes the lighting for the episode. So, now you actually have a direct comparison and contrast between house lights on and house lights off.
I actually wonder how different it would look. Like, do you think they even noticed? Or are these lights so powerful?
I think 90% of people, the second they hit play, they move. They don't look at us again. I think putting this podcast out as a video is like, entirely redundant.
I think everyone doesn't hit play, and for those that do hit play, they don't look at us for more than 2 seconds. Okay.
I would be surprised if people it'd be like play. It's like and in 3, like they're already doing something else. They're not looking at
They don't tune into the episode at all. I do that, I guess, too. It's like sometimes white noise is just nice for...
There are many podcasts.
We should call this podcast the White Noise. That's a great name for a podcast, White Noise.
Today's episode brought to you by this, and I'm not going to say what it is out loud. You have to visually check in to see.
Yeah.
Today's episode brought to you by this. This is a thing that it is.
It's a type of thing that is a thing that we have.
It's alcohol.
Oh, now you've killed it.
What?
Anyway.
Doesn't say alcohol anywhere on the bottle.
Now you've really
Why did they always have to put the Yu-Gi-Oh cards further in the store? Were people really stealing that many?
What? What are you talking about now? What?
Like they used to have the Yu-Gi-Oh cards like front and center in
by
the
the
store,
till.
by the till.
Yeah.
They had to put them.
Like most of the major stores.
Oh, I
moved
see
them
what you're
because
saying.
it was too expensive to put these trackers on them.
Yes.
Not trackers, but like these
things that
security
set off.
indicators.
It's like it was too popular. The game got so popular
that people were stealing them to build.
I see.
Also, many people were like have childhood stories of being like beaten up for their Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards. There are people who directly received a vicious beating.
Is that why you're saying this?
No, I heard a story.
I know about kids who got beat, and I got some sweet cards.
I know.
Totally unrelated stories.
I was out for brunch with some of my girlfriend's friends, and one of them was talking about how he hates Pokemon because he got beat up for his cards as a kid.
Too weak to defend himself?
He was in kindergarten. And
that's not Ash's fault.
Some grade 6 kids came and beat him up and took his cards.
Charizard doesn't care who is.
I bet you he wouldn't hate money if somebody beat him up and took his money.
Hate money.
It's
That's
true.
funny.
I got beat up my money mistaken, so now I hate money.
Can you imagine somebody's like, I don't really believe in money. It's like, oh, why? Because like the environmental impacts, or like you're more of a socialist. It's like, no. Somebody used to beat the shit out of me and take my money all the time. So now I hate it because I associate it with getting beat the fuck up.
I just spend it all the time. I don't save any of it.
It's my favorite thing to do the podcast. It's my favorite thing to do.
It'll never not work either, because like for it to not work, we would have to just ignore you completely, and then it would just change That's the thing. It'll just work in perpetuity.
You always say it with there's such resonance to it, as if the next syllables to follow are going to be so insightful, and it's going to be such a great topic change.
Such
and
an
then
interesting thing.
Nothing.
Oh.
Just dead silence.
I believe that one of the biggest threats to our national security is the North American pine beetle. And I'm going to tell you why. The Canadian Department of Forestry and Agriculture has stated that
Continue.
that the infestation of the North American pine beetle into our Canadian pine forests is threatening so many ecosystems.
Okay.
And I think that
In what way?
Feel free to jump in and disagree with me, you guys.
No. I'm
might-
interested. Are they consuming resources that are being taken away from other animals? Or what are they doing?
Wow. See, the issue is
Pine
that
trees.
the pine beetles are infesting the pine trees.
Why is that bad?
Well, because then the pine trees are full of beetles.
And
Here's
we have to now.
And here's why.
And the thing is,
And
we have to. Trudeau has allocated a bunch of our military resources to soldiers picking out the beetles out of the trees.
Like we've gone to war with the North American
Thanks a
pine
lot,
beetle.
Justin.
Yeah, because of you.
Tut tut.
Because of fucking you.
In the new year, we will be launching a new product line called Tut. I'll let Andrew explain it a little bit more.
I think that's all we're going to give you for right now. But
That's the thing. It works better if nobody knows where it's from or who's creating it or what. That's the thing. I feel like to fully capitalize on the success.
Just tut.com.
Well, no one watches this anyways, but
That's the thing.
For those of you who aren't watching, fuck you.
well, like some people listen to it. Nobody watches.
I will say this, and I don't have fear any repercussion.
Thought you were gonna say I will say this, and then you weren't gonna say anything. I was like, oh.
Without any repercussion, anybody who has not seen this segment is a fucking idiot.
What?
I fucking hate you if you haven't seen this.
Oh, I see.
If you haven't seen this, I think you're stupid.
Yeah,
I think you're worthless.
that's like the fuck deaf people.
Yeah, exactly. They're more like this. Fuck deaf people.
You really have to hand it to blind prostitutes.
Yeah.
And Brad just got that.
I got it, and I just really appreciated it. On the subject of the Pine Beetles, though,
Beetlejuice?
it was a great film.
I don't really like Beetlejuice.
Really?
I'm just not a big Tim Burton guy, honestly. It's just like
Yeah.
I think the style clicked for a lot of people, which was great, but it never really fully clicked for him. Like
by people you mean like fat goth chicks.
well, that's yeah, okay, because that's like very
You show me a fat chick with black hair, and I'll show you someone with a Jack Skellington tattoo.
yeah. No, like I'm trying to think. My favorite movie of his is probably Big Fish, which
I always forget that's a Tim Burton movie.
yeah, exactly.
He made
Which is
James and the Giant Peach.
I don't think he did James and Giant
No.
Peach actually, but it looks very much like something he would do.
That is a
Terrifying.
terrible
Yes. Which I actually like that movie.
That is the
It's good.
epitome of horror motion
the
picture.
mechanical shark is fucking cool, super scary.
Okay,
Who's
so
trying to hunt him?
The Cloud?
there's
Yes, there's an evil cloud, right, or something.
there's a real world.
Oh, the
kid.
shark's the main villain, isn't it? Yes.
But there's a real world kid who goes into a peach.
Yes.
And then he becomes
The
like
peach
a
grows
stop
super
motion.
big, and then there's a hole in the peach, And then he
And then
goes
becomes
to the
like a
beach,
claymation
and then
weed.
he eats, and then it's like he's in
befriends
this-
all the insects in there.
Yeah, right. There's like a lot of spider, grasshopper.
It's really paralleled with Life of Pi. If you've read that novel or seen that,
Yeah, it
movie.
would probably be similar to Life of Pi.
To escape the horridness of his circumstances, he makes friends with the insects.
Like, is this circumstance? No, he just has like a shitty family.
Was because mom and dad get like eaten by the cloud or some shit?
But I mean, that's all
The shark
figurative,
cloud?
right? Like, that's all not real.
I don't know. Sure. I mean, he ends up living in the peach pit with a fucking spider. So
Forever.
Is that what happens at the end?
yeah,
He stays in the peach.
Oh fuck! I thought he
yeah.
went back
It's
to
from
family.
no, from his aunt and uncle, his aunts, the evil aunts.
Oh, that's who's evil. What a weird fucking. Is he dead? Is that supposed? To, is it like that's the
I
thing?
think that's like all the kid.
All those kid movies,
kid
they're
things,
dead?
They die and they're living their fantasy.
It's fuck so.
Like Big Hero 6 is just he died with his parents.
And he's living in San Francisco with his giant robot.
His parents died?
Yeah, he's living with who?
And then his brother dies.
living with his aunt.
His aunt, yeah.
Yeah, right. That was a good movie. I like Big Hero 6
It's a
actually.
good one. Smallfoot also really
I
good.
haven't seen that one yet.
Really good.
Really didn't like the Grinch.
Speaking of the Grinch, what I really want to do, like you thing is, all these things I think these little skits to do with the movies. The only way it would really work is as a Family Guy kind of way because they can just animate it and it works. But like, I really want there to be a Grinch thing where it's like, he comes to give the presents back and he's like, I've learned this lesson, and it's like, Whoville PD, get on the fucking ground. You're under arrest for multiple counts of break and enter and Grand Theft Auto. On the fucking ground. On the fucking ground.
Like
And
an arrest
SWAT
warrant.
team comes and they fucking arrest him. And then it's like the Grinch, and it's like him internal monologue as he gets walked to the electric chair.
Hashtag.
And then it cuts and the electric chair's like in the top of the star on the tree. And
Hashtag
he gets electrocuted and that like lights up the star on the tree.
Green Lives Matter.
I like that a lot. Did you guys do the electric chair missions in Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead Redemption?
Electric
definitely
chair
don't.
missions.
I haven't.
What?
Yeah, I'm not that far.
There's a side quest where this guy's like, steal a bunch of moonshine for me because I've got this cool invention. And then so you steal a bunch of moonshine, you bring it to him. He's like, okay, I need like a person. So you have to go get this outlaw. So I go and capture this outlaw and come back. I'm like, why do you need outlaw and moonshine? He's like, oh, because I invented a chair that will kill people humanely with electricity. So then you go like,
That's awesome.
there's like a square where people usually get hung in Saint Denis, but you put him in a chair, electric chair, and then the guy like throws the electric chair and it's just like barely electrocuting him. He's like just fucking screaming in agony. It's like, he's like, this is the most humane way. And the guy's like, oh, fucking nuts. And he like throws the electric chair again. And the guy's like, like this is like, I'm dying so slowly. And then the guy, like the scientist, like touches some two poles wrong and then electrocutes and kills him and kills the guy in the electric chair.
That sounds awesome.
That's very interesting.
So you guys want to talk a little bit about Mortal Engines and why it should be
Not
nominated
again.
for Best Original Screenplay.
Not
No, but that's adapted screenplay.
That'd be the screenplay.
It sucked. The TLDR is it sucked.
Yeah, just don't pay money to go see it.
Will they get a
No.
makeup nod or a
I
costume nod?
Maybe like production
think so.
design, like that kind of thing. They might get a nod for that type of deal.
But there's so many other things I think that are gonna. Well, maybe not so many other. It was pretty impressive on that front.
It's true. It is going up against a lot of like. It's going up against like Aquaman and fucking. There's a lot of other like super CGI heavy. Well, like fucking Infinity.
Aquaman
Infinity
coming
War right away.
Friday.
This
Thursday.
Thursday technically. Yeah. I want to go see that. That looks fucking awesome. That's my.
Is he
Fine.
a bad actor? Everyone keeps telling me he's a bad actor.
Just Momoa? No, I don't.
He's a pretty one-dimensional actor.
Yeah,
he's
it's
like an
like
action star.
Henry Cavill to me. It's like.
Is he a bad actor? No, but
No,
would
he just.
you cast him in a very
Yeah.
character-heavy? No, like
It's like
he's
Jason
a one-trick
Momoa
pony.
looks like Conan the Barbarian. He's the closest to Conan the Barbarian there will ever be. Ever. He makes Arnold Schwarzenegger look like.
A soft guy.
No, not a soft guy, but just like. Whitey McWhite. And then Conan the Barbarian's like, me. Like, he just completely like he looked. Too bad the movie sucked so bad because that was perfect casting. But
That's him?
Yeah, that's cool. That's Jason Momoa.
How long has he been an actor?
Quite a while. I mean, Game of Thrones came out.
Was this
years
not a
ago.
wonderful movie?
Have you seen it?
was not good.
It's not good. That's
For those of you who are watching,
watched-
I'm pointing off screen to a poster you can't see even
Yes.
if you are watching.
One of the most
The two-
irritating
the
things
two-
about
the two-
Brad.
yeah, the two
big
mo-
time. One of the most irritating things about Brad is he got years and years and years ago before me. He got these 2 posters from a theater. A friend of his worked at the theater. A friend of ours.
Who gave those posters to another friend, who then Brad took these posters from, and
They're for 2 of like the worst.
the 2 worst, Priest and Conan the Barbarian 3D.
Why was this movie bad?
Conan.
Yeah.
The thing is, I can't remember anything about it, so it's like I feel like it was one of those. Nothing good happened in the whole. It was just like kind of bad acting.
So mediocre.
Like a script. It's probably one of those movies where I didn't care about anything that
But
happened.
here's what I'm wondering.
I watch Priest probably once every 6 months for some reason. I don't know why. Because I keep thinking, love Paul Bettany, vampires cool, city post-apocalypse, like all this sounds kind of like a cool thing. And then I watch it and I'm like, this is shit every time. Every time. But I watch it
But I'm
every couple
wondering.
months.
I'm wondering if with Conan, you're not. It's not one of those
Misremembering?
situations where you didn't catch it the first time.
It had that deeper
Yeah.
second one. Maybe.
Like that Mummy movie that has Dwayne The Rock Johnson as a scorpion.
I don't mind Mummy Returns.
Is that it?
Yeah, Mummy Returns. That's the
Whatever
only.
happened
That's
to
the only
Bill-
like really bad part of the movie.
Whatever happened to Brendan Fraser?
Somebody put a finger up his butthole. He was traumatized from that. Stopped acting. Tried to get his head on straight because he was dealing. I watched this whole interview with him. It was like 45 minutes. It was Reddit. Sorry, it was in a magazine. Very, very sad. And him talking about his struggles with mental health over the last few years. And now he is.
He's just in some TV show that did really well.
He's kind of like dipping his feet back in the thing. He just said. I liked his interview a lot though, because like he's not the Brendan Fraser we remember. Like he's not that guy anymore. He's very kind of monotone and quiet spoken now. But I liked. He's got a good attitude about life. Like somebody asked him. He talked a lot about George the Jungle and the Mummies, about how he became this like megastar, like overnight basically. And somebody was like, "Oh, what would you say to your younger self?" And then he was like, I would just say like, calm down. So you're gonna have some kids one day, and everything's gonna be good. Everything's gonna work out really well. Just calm down. You don't need to be trying so hard for other people. Like things are gonna work out. I'm like, I like that. Like he's not. He didn't say anything about regretting any of his choices or anything. He just was like, for once, somebody who's old was like, it all worked out in the end. It was good. Or I guess not for once, but you always hear about these megastars going through like
Nick Cage.
Nick Cage is not.
He's still going through it.
He talks about him visiting Europe during the filming of Ghost Rider and seeing seeing heads floating through the forest. You ever seen that? It's incredible. While they were filming Ghost Rider 2, he talked about how he, on one day of the shooting, or like an off day, he went to some forest, and he talks about how he saw heads floating
Like
through the
from
forest.
Ghost Rider?
No. Just, he saw these supernatural things, and he says it as if it's something that everyone sees.
He's probably on so many fucking painkillers.
I can't imagine. I was just like, Nick Cage, how... You're so straight-faced about this. Like,
His
did you,
entire existence
did you-
is painkillers, I think.
I feel bad because if he saw an actual ghost, no one would believe him. And like maybe he did see an actual fucking ghost.
Yeah, because like
I
the one
prefer the
person,
term
the one
apparition.
person on this world who's ever truly seen an actual fucking ghost is going to be Nick Cage.
I'm just saying, what if he did see one and then the ghost was like, everybody come here and they can all see me, but then we didn't believe him.
What if ghosts
didn't.
only communicate with crazy people?
They do.
No, but what if like they are real, but they only reach out to crazy people?
Yeah, that's like the whole.
Sounds like a kind of chicken or the egg argument.
Yeah, that's like there's a Doctor Who episode where they're talking about what if there was a creature, because it's a great episode where they talk about how there's all these creatures that have evolved to be perfect instruments of whatever they do. Like a shark is a perfect killing machine. Human beings are like thought machine,
Perfect.
whatever. I think, but then he says, what if there was a creature that was a perfect hider, and it just hid from everything, and it was so good at hide. It's like we would never be able to, like, prove it exists.
Yeah, but you can't hide from thermal cameras.
No, but that's the thing. What if it could?
It can't.
You know what's really interesting about on the topic of like mental illness, whatever, I listened to this part of a podcast where this psychologist talks about how the voices that people hear, schizophrenics hear, are different based on the culture that you're in. And that North Americans are the only schizophrenics that really have voices that tell them to commit violence.
Oh.
In every other culture, a lot of them just describe it as like a pleasant voice, or like telling them to work harder, or like
Give them
compliments, or all of them describe it more as like a religious experience. Whereas in North America, it's very frequently is
I've heard that.
wanting to hurt them, or wanting them to hurt other people,
I've also heard that
or hurt themselves.
a theory that whatever language
that's
you're
that's
taught,
part of it too.
yeah, it's like there's some famous book that I actually want to read, but it talks about how whatever language you're taught growing up really affects how your brain thinks. And so
I can tell that.
What do you mean? What'd you look at when you did that? Me? Oh, because I see where you got. Sorry, I didn't catch on. Yes. So apparently, I can't remember. I was the thing I was watching. They were comparing Russian people and American people and how much differently they.
Now here's a question for you. Do we buy? Found this really interesting. Found this really, really, really.
I'm super gun shy because once again I'm scared that you're just saying things and then you're not going to say anything.
No. I found this really, really, really interesting when I read about it.
You say pine beetle, I'll be mad.
No, but this argument going around, and don't cut in right away. I just want to fully explore what I have to say. No. So the whole apparently there's a movement that we want Santa to be gender neutral or female.
I don't think that exists.
I said don't cut in.
Sorry.
I said don't cut in. So then people like myself are like, fuck that, it's so stupid. And then all these other people are like, hey, assholes, it's a bunch of right-wing people trying to get your fucking goat, so don't give in to this shit. But it seems like such a thing that Snowflakes would care about that I'm like, if there is these people, they need to know this isn't right.
That's the thing about like what the far left has become. Because like I see stuff like about like you have to make sure that you don't misgender your pet because that's animal abuse, and like
that's so funny.
And like
I love that.
and like make sure that you ask for you get your baby's consent before changing their diaper. And it's like
that's so.
It sounds so ridiculous, but at the same time, it's like maybe they're like these people are also fucking nuts and believe a lot of other crazy shit.
Yeah.
So why not those things?
The baby consent thing for the diaper is amazing.
Incredible.
It's amazing.
They're like the thing is, it's like the flat Earth thing. Started out as a joke, and then became a thing. Like, do you ever hear about free bleeding? It's the thing that started on 4chan.
Yeah,
these guys started it. It's like, yeah, like if you're like a real women's activist, you don't fucking wear a tampon. You just let yourself bleed through your pants to show you don't care because that's your feminine power. And that thing started on 4chan, and then women actually started fucking doing it, and just like fucking bleeding through free bleeding.
I can't imagine wanting to
uncomfortable.
ruin my clothing.
Are you just uncomfortable? Like what?
There are several videos of people online putting their period blood all over their face as a way to like that I'm a woman and this shouldn't be disgusting.
I don't want to get too deep into it because we don't really have a great perspective on the situation.
Once again, we're three white guys talking about.
But the ridiculousness of the... But we are right in the snowflake. Like, a bunch of white guys.
What do you mean?
Like
Caring about stuff.
Like
the baby.
we're the right people to comment on snowflakes.
We're the ones getting offended.
Well, like, white people are the only people getting offended. Like,
yes.
Nobody else is offended by anything
That's
at
true.
all.
I often go like on Facebook and I'll read something. I'm just very good about actively telling my brain not to get
involved. Yeah.
Well, get triggered. Like I just don't.
I get triggered.
Like I will read. I will go to the most right wing thing, and I will just read and not ever feel the need to comment but just to see what people are thinking about on that end and just be like, it's so insane that two people can exist and have such polar opposite opinions about the exact same thing. It's so crazy. But then I also, by reading that right wing stuff, I'm like, fuck, like I get so depressed because I'm like, there is no point in fighting so strongly to one point because it's like they're the same. They're the same people. They're just as ridiculous in their own ways about the same issue.
Here's what I love. In Western European, North America, well, I think this is a North American issue. I don't think Europeans also don't care. White people in North America are the people getting offended.
Yeah.
So it's like
there's also like this outrage culture where white people get offended on behalf of other groups.
Yeah.
And
So
it's like I'm a straight woman, but I'm offended that Santa Claus isn't gender neutral. It's like, why? Like that doesn't affect you at all. It's like, well, I'm offended for the trans people that I know. It's like, are they at all offended? It's like, well, that's not the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like,
Anyway, hold on. Let me finish. So with that being said, no, just kidding. I do have a point. With that being said, you have people in North American society, these butthurt white people, are like, you need to ask your baby for consent before you change their diaper. And then it's like, what do people in India think about that? And it's like, well, I mostly have to put dry rice husks in my children's throats to kill them because we can't afford to feed them. It's like I have to feed my baby the really hard dry husks so that they choke to death. And then we put them into a fire. And it's like, did I ask that baby if it needed its ever changed? No, I put hard, dry rice husks in its throat so it would suffocate, and then we burned it.
It's like when I'm not doing that, I'm fearing for my safety on public transit that I'm going to be gang raped at any moment.
Like, and you hear like, all sex is rape. All sex is rape. Are there any gray-haired lesbian art teachers who know of fiber cereal? This won't take long. I know your big dogs are tied up outside. We need to start a chant to get them out in the streets. All sex is rape. That is one of my top 10 favorite skits of all time.
That is brilliant.
All
sex is rape.
All sex is rape. It's like the most beautiful interpretation of how our society is going. It's just like, it's so asinine, but I can totally see people might as well take the next step. It's like, we're living a rape culture. Well, all sex is rape.
You could absolutely have somebody make an argument for that.
Like,
absolutely.
We're already to the point where
it's terrifying.
Where especially like if you're at all of note. Now it's like, okay, if we're gonna engage in anything sexual, I need you to sign these consent forms so that it's on record that you consented to this, so that
all sex is rape.
And on that note, we'll wrap this one up. We got 2 minutes. Maybe a would you rather to end us off. Something of the like.
Okay, Andrew, here's one. Would you rather be forced into the Indian culture or forced to exclusively hang out with the group of snowflakes? Well, both of you.
What do you mean Indian culture?
Like what I described, like that, like you have to live in that sect.
Let's say like poverty.
Like live in India.
Or like Indian
like
poverty.
Poor
or like you exclusively hang out with these real, I'm talking top shelf, like...
Right wing or left wing snowflakes?
Left.
I'll take the left wing snowflakes, I guess. Cause
I wouldn't. I
can at least blend in with them.
Yeah, at least...
No, I'm talking like the people who are like screaming that you didn't consent over get asked for baby's consent.
I think I would still prefer that over right wing snowflakes.
No, I would prefer right wing snowflakes.
You would?
Oh yeah.
I just can't hate like that.
The thing is, there's no discrepancy. Like they both hate equally.
But the thing is, the one hates based on the color of skin and if you're gay or not, and I can't.
Well, I would just rather be part of the Indian thing.
Huh?
It's like I can do some rice throat shit. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, they're not gonna kill you. You'll
saying.
have to kill some babies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fine. But
no,
I don't know. I can't really delve.
I can't handle open defecation
and poverty. Yeah.
I feel like you can get used to the open defecating.
I can way more easily get used to like my feelings are hurt by me.
But that's the only people you get to spend time with. Every time you go to a movie, they're like, "Here is a list of reasons why I was offended."
Yeah, but
poverty is 24/7. At least this is occasionally you go to.
That way, I also don't have to like look outside and see someone shitting in the street as a daily occurrence.
I watched somebody do that Vancouver and Granville Street. Right outside of.
I think I like more of like the survival instinct thing. I could get into that.
Oh yeah, well, you could for sure like your whole life you could kind of formulate. You could. I am now an Indian man.
Like role play the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Like role play your actual life.
Yeah.
Which I think.
Role play your actual. I think.
You go around to everybody in India, like all your other people are like, we're poor, and I'm really buying into this, and they're like, yes, that is the realistic situation that we're currently living in.
You don't have any. I don't have any money. Yeah, you don't have any money. Yeah, exactly. I don't have any money.
Please help me. I need to feed my kids.
This is how I act because I don't have any money, and I had to shit in the street.
It's like there's some rich white people walk by you like wink at them.
Yeah.
Wink, please help.
You say, I'm just like you, and they're like, get the fuck away from me. I'm just like you. That would be such a rude awakening for a white person to like treat you like you're like, oh my god, like you would come to such a cruel realization if you were poor and like living in the street that it's like, oh, people don't care. Like we already know that people don't really care about you that are outside.
Feeling it.
But like then all of a sudden it's like, wow, people really don't care if I live or die. They might prefer that I die.
You die and then keep talking.
Yeah, you very much see that when it's like someone on the side of the road, they need help. Absolutely, people stop, help them out. Homeless person on like dying in the gutter, like step over, keep walking. It's like, what's the difference between these people?
Money.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll check you out next time.
Terrible.
I don't know what title I'm going to come up with this one, but I'm excited for it. Thanks, guys.